You know the feeling. It starts as a whisper in the back of your mind. You're driving home, completely autopiloting through traffic, thinking about a friend you haven't spoken to in a decade. Suddenly, your phone lights up on the passenger seat. It's them. A chill shoots down your spine. Later that night, you glance at the microwave clock. 11:11. You wake up the next morning, grab a coffee, and the total comes to exactly $11.11. It feels like the reality you know is glitching, like a script is playing out in front of you, and you're the only one who can see the subtitles. You try to brush it off as random chance, but deep down your gut is screaming something different. It's telling you that these aren't accidents. It's telling you that you are being guided. Most of us walk through life assuming the world is a chaotic, random place where things just happen to us. But what if that assumption is wrong? What if the universe is actually a hyper-connected web of intelligence, constantly trying to communicate with you? We are going to dive into the architecture of these signals. We aren't just talking about superstition here. We are exploring the intersection of psychology, pattern recognition, and the mystical traditions that have survived for thousands of years. By the end of this, you won't just be spotting these signs. You'll know exactly how to decode the message they are trying to send you. First, we have to address the elephant in the room, the fear that you might be losing your mind. That mixture of awe and slight paranoia is actually the threshold of what mystics call the Great Unveiling. You aren't cracking up, you are waking up. In the early 20th century, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung sat with this exact phenomenon. He realized that science, with its strict cause and effect rules, couldn't explain why a clock would stop at the exact moment of a death, or why a beetle would fly into his window just as a patient was describing a dream about a scarab. Jung coined the term synchronicity. He defined it as a meaningful coincidence, two events that have absolutely no physical connection, yet are linked by a profound, undeniable meaning. To Jung, this wasn't magic. It was evidence of a deeper underlying order to reality, a connecting principle that binds your internal psyche to the external world. Of course, the skeptical part of your brain has a rebuttal. It's called confirmation bias, or the reticular activating system. It's the mechanism where, once you decide to buy a red Tesla, you suddenly see red Teslas on every street corner. Your brain filters for what you focus on. This is a valid scientific reality. But the spiritual perspective doesn't ask you to ignore science. It asks you to expand it. It asks a different question. Why are you suddenly focusing on this pattern right now? Why does seeing the number 444 bring you a sudden physical wave of peace right in the middle of a panic attack? The spiritual view suggests that the universe hijacks your brain's pattern recognition software to send you alerts. It uses the physical world as a user interface to speak to your soul. So, how do we learn this language? It's not spoken in English or Spanish. It's spoken in symbols, repetition, and resonance. The most common entry point, the hello world of cosmic coding, is repeating numbers. You might know them as angel numbers. While empirical science sees digits, numerology sees vibration. Let's break down what people actually experience when these numbers flood their lives. Take the sequence 111 or 1111. This is the wake-up call. It's the universe snapping its fingers in front of your face. When you see this, it's often interpreted as a moment of high-speed manifestation. The theory is that the veil between your thoughts and your reality is thin. If you're spiraling into negativity and you see 1111, it's a warning. Stop. Shift your focus. You are building the future right now. Then there's the sequence 222. This usually appears when you are in the trenches of indecision. You're stressing over a job offer or a breakup, and your anxiety is redlining. Seeing 222 is the cosmic equivalent of a deep breath. It represents balance, duality, and harmony. It's a message to stop forcing the outcome, to plant your feet, and trust that the scales are balancing themselves out. What about 333? This is often linked to the concept of the Trinity: mind, body, spirit. It appears when you are out of alignment. Maybe you're overworking and ignoring your health, or you're lost in daydreams and ignoring your responsibilities. 333 is the nudge to integrate. It's the universe telling you to pull yourself together and align your actions with your spirit. And then, the fortress, 444. This is widely considered the sign of protection. If you are going through a crisis, if you feel unsafe or unstable, and 444 starts popping up on license plates and receipts, take it as a shield. It's a message that your foundation is solid, that you are being watched over, and that you are safe to keep moving forward. But numbers are just the beginning. The universe gets much more creative with synchronicities. These are the moments that make you stop dead in your tracks. Let's paint the picture. You are agonizing over a career change. You feel trapped in a cubicle, desperate to become a graphic designer, but you're terrified of the risk. You get in your car, turn on the radio, and the host is interviewing a graphic designer who quit their corporate job at your age. That's weird. You park the car, walk into a coffee shop, and bump into an old friend who mentions, unprompted, "Hey, my company is looking for a freelance designer. Do you know anyone?" Statistically, this is improbable. Spiritually, this is a neon sign. These events are designed to be open loops that grab your attention. They are the universe confirming your internal desires by rearranging the external world. It's not just a coincidence. It's a validation that you are on the right path. We also have to talk about the night shift. Dreams. When your conscious mind shuts down, your subconscious, and perhaps something greater, takes the wheel. We aren't talking about the random, jumbled dreams where you're late for a test. We are talking about the vivid, cinematic dreams that stay with you for days. The ones where you wake up sweating, crying, or feeling an inexplicable sense of joy. In many traditions, these are visitations or downloads. If you dream of a specific animal, a specific person, or a recurring scenario, write it down immediately. The symbolism in dreams is often a direct mirror of what your soul is trying to process, bypassing the ego's defenses entirely. So, you're seeing the numbers, you're feeling the synchronicities. Now, what do you do with them? How do you move from a passive observer to an active participant? You need a protocol. First, you have to initiate the pause protocol. We live in an economy of distraction. If you are glued to your phone, scrolling through doom loops, you are missing the subtle signals. You need to create pockets of silence. When you walk to your car, look up. Observe the birds, the wind, the license plates. The signal is always broadcasting, but your receiver needs to be turned on. Second, you need data. You need to start a synchronicity journal. This is the difference between a hobbyist and a master. Don't just nod at a coincidence and forget it. Write it down. But here is the key. Don't just record the sign. Record the context. If you saw 500 what were you thinking about 10 seconds before? Were you angry? Were you hopeful? Were you asking for help? The meaning is almost always hidden in the context. Over a month, you will read back through that journal and see a pattern so clear it will give you goosebumps. You will see a narrative arc that you couldn't see in the moment. Third, you have to train your intuition. Your intuition is not just a feeling. It is a rapid-fire data processing system that accesses wisdom your logic can't touch. When you interpret a sign, trust the first flash of feeling. Does the sign make you feel expansive and light? That's a yes. Does it make you feel constricted and heavy? That's a no. Stop asking Google what a feather means and start asking your gut what it felt like when you found it. Finally, look for the rule of 3. The universe is persistent. If you miss the whisper, it will speak louder. If you miss the nudge, it will push. If you notice a theme, like patience or relocation, showing up in a song, then a conversation, and then a book, that is a cluster. That is the universe highlighting the text in yellow marker. You can even test this. Speak to the universe like a partner. Say, okay, if I'm supposed to take this job, show me a yellow butterfly in the next 24 hours. And then let it go. You might be shocked at how often the specific confirmation arrives. This shift in perspective changes everything. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance. You stop feeling alone. You realize that you are in a constant, dynamic dialogue with reality itself. You start to move with confidence, knowing that you have a guidance system that is always online, always watching, and always rooting for you. The next time the hair stands up on your arm, or the clock strikes a perfect sequence, don't ignore it. Lean into it. That is the universe calling you home. If this video felt like a sign for you today, If it answered a question you've been holding in your heart, that is the synchronicity at work. Honor that connection by hitting the like button, which helps this signal reach others who are searching for it. Subscribe to keep the channel open. And I want to know, what is the weirdest, most undeniable sign you have received lately? Drop it in the comments. Let's decode this mystery together.